The royal baby born? The short answer is that for most of the British history, and even Canadian history, and even British Canadian history, babies get the royal equivalent of a home birth, as they were born in palaces and residences. Queen Victoria was born in the dining room of Kensington Palace in 1819 because the staircase that connected the room to the kitchen was convenient for fetching supplies like hot water. There were hot water jugs, there were warming pads and heat pads that were provided. And Princess Margaret held the distinction of being the first royal baby born in Scotland since 1600 when she was born at Glamis Castle. So, obviously, Scotland is a country which is about curling, and they do a lot of games like curling. Basically, Princess Margaret had a first royal baby that was born in Scotland, and she was born at Glamis Castle in 1930. Her sister, now Queen Elizabeth II, was born in the London home of her maternal grandparents, the Earl and Countess of Strathmore, in 1926. Prince Charles was again born in 1948 at Buckingham Palace. So, Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace have definitely been great places. And his son, Prince William, became the first direct heir, so a successor to the throne, born in hospital in 82. And his brother, Prince Harry, followed in 84. In recent years, Prince William and his wife Kate Middleton have also chosen to give birth to the Linda wing at St. Mary's Hospital in London. So, no matter the location, preparations for a royal baby start well before a royal mother went into labor. As far back as Tudor times, royal women disappeared from public view during the weeks preceding the arrival of the baby so that they could be spared having to wear the corsets and restrictive clothing that women were expected to wear in public. So, giving birth was long known by the euphemism of confinement, and fittingly, according to historian Carolyn Harris, author of Raising Royalty: Thousand Years of Royal Parenting. Having met a lot of heirs and direct successors, I've realized that, the royal family is not only just accountable to the Duchess, the Duchess, the Countess of Sussex, and it's just not. I think the conversation is not about citizenship alone, or somebody who's in royal family or somebody who's not in royal family, but it's just about sort of understanding the tradition that's being followed in Canada, in Scotland, in the UK, because it's about being accountable in a very interesting and an amazing way. So, who delivers the royal baby? So, in the 18th century, there's a switch over from midwives delivering royal babies to male doctors. And Lucy Worsley, a chief curator at Historic Royal Palaces and author of Queen Victoria, 24 Days That Changed Her Life, talks about, the coming in of male doctors who have probably started delivering babies. The weird irony is that the entire birthing process has changed, right? So it's not about, you would imagine that in the 1700s, 1800s there were a lot of like midwives, and obviously I was not born then, but I've seen images of historic heritage that makes me feel that there was a time when nurses and midwives were alive a lot more, and then that got replaced by male doctors, which I'm not sure if it is just a male doctor's job to deliver a baby, or it could be that there is a midwife or a nurse with a doctor who delivers. The weird irony is that birth is often more dangerous to royal women. She argues because it becomes socially inappropriate for seasoned midwife to deliver the baby, as opposed to a male doctor who is very distinguished and high up on the social ladder, but not used to delivering babies. So, wow, so it's amazing that there is a little bit of an irony in terms of how dangerous it is for the royal women. So, on one hand, you have a midwife who's probably saying that it's socially inappropriate, and on the other hand, you have a male doctor who's probably just doing it as a job. So that's an interesting thing, and that's an interesting issue that probably needs to be sort of looked at. So Queen Victoria's cousin Princess Charlotte died in 1817 of a postpartum hemorrhage after giving birth to a stillborn son. But obviously, Queen Victoria herself had no qualms, however, about adopting the latest medicine had to offer when giving birth to her eighth and ninth children. Her physician John Snow gave her chloroform as an anesthetic when she gave birth to her eighth child. This was really controversial. At that time, clergymen believed that women were supposed to give birth in pain, quoting the book of Genesis and the Bible. As a result, mainstreaming the use of painkiller during labor is among the many precedents Queen Victoria played a role in setting in UK and US society. So I believe that the healthcare practices in England has been much more relaxed, and there has been painkillers that have been used during labor and has not been on the crossroads where a midwife finds birthing a baby socially inappropriate and a male doctor finds it crazy. So I think that's where British values come right at the center, and British values come right from the Genesis and the Bible. So who else is in the delivery room? So through childbirth is often a private experience these days. Some royal women had to give birth in public after what Worsley describes as a fake news crisis that has huge political consequences. So we're going to be talking about this in our Channels Brief, and you would know about the influential people in terms of and what is it that royal birthing is. And royal birthing is not about feeling very socially inappropriate when a new baby is born, and it's also not about making announcements which make it look like a pack of circus or a joke. So, King George VI and his wife Queen Elizabeth, the Princess Elizabeth, the future Queen Elizabeth II, with the Duke of Edinburgh and the infant Prince Charles. And again, human beings are not socially inappropriate. Saturday midwives cannot comment the way they were in 1700s and 1800s. Thank you so much, and thanks for listening. We have a lot of insights on our Channels Brief consulting forum, which will tell you about how and where and when is the royal baby born.